you guys? Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's good to see you. We wish we could actually, but we're thankful that you're here.
Yeah, we're so excited about today's video. We're going to be talking all things about what you should be looking for in a spouse.
So Tori and I were just doing a podcast with a friend earlier today. Her name's Janine. She has a podcast called Happy and Healthy.
Yeah.
And so it brought up this topic of how to have healthy relationships. And then this wheel started turning in my head. I'm just thinking to myself, wow, some relationships take more work than others, and that's okay. But also, what are some healthy things we should look to in others that would help us have healthier, more fruitful, thriving relationships? Because obviously, there's definitely some bullets you can dodge.
Yeah.
There's some ways that you can pursue people that you're not like obsessed with the idea of them, or you're not idolizing relationships by lowering your standards to be just be in a relationship. It's a way you can have a clear vision in terms of how you're pursuing someone. But before we get to all that, we have two quick things.
Two little
Actually,
housekeeping.
technically three, but yeah. First one is our subscriber of the week.
Ready?
Allison, you are one of the most faithful members of the Masters fam.
We love
Thank you for every single message and prayer and everything you put in our Discord chat, and congratulations on your engagement. So thanks for doing life with us, Allison. And the second preface is...
Thank you to Green Chef for sponsoring this video. We have a very fun little segment that will be in this video where I'm just gonna say there's a couple little guest appearances.
There's a couple guest stars. It's probably my favorite segment that we've recorded so far.
Yeah, it's funny.
And I wish you guys could have been there for the behind the scenes, so stay tuned for that. And the third preface is just as always, Tori and I are answering this kind of topic, we're talking about this topic from a Christian perspective. We do, however, think that this advice can be good for any walk of life, but we will be mentioning advice from our background. So you ready for that? And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe or like the video. If you want, no worries either way.
Become a part of the Masters fam.
Yeah, join us.
That
sounded super cool.
That sounds super creepy.
Yeah. Anyways, join if you want.
So we're just gonna talk to you guys like we're having a conversation with you kind of about this topic, because I honestly feel like I still have a lot of single girlfriends who are in that dating phase trying to figure out like, okay, is this the guy for me? Like, is this worth working on, or is this not the right thing? And so we just want to talk about different characteristics and qualities to look for in a person as you are deciding who you want to spend the rest of your life with.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, and it should be a good decision. And if you are not new to the Masters fam, then you know, like, one of our favorite quotes is, your spouse will either be your greatest asset or your biggest liability. And so it should be a smart decision. And it shouldn't always just be based on like feelings and hormones. So we'll talk about that.
And there's also no one size.
My earring just came out.
Really? How'd that happen? You got a hole in your ear?
The heckin'? Where's the back of it? I have so much to say. I feel like I don't even know where to start.
Start slow, and then we'll work into it.
I will be honest, Chad always tells me to be super gentle because I know I can come off a little fiery.
Yeah.
So I just apologize in advance. But I truly think for my ladies out there, there's nothing more important than knowing your worth and not settling and not ignoring those flags that go up in the beginning just out of fear of not finding anybody else. And so anytime you're in a relationship, make sure that you are praying and pressing into the Lord and asking Him to give you discernment and clarity, because there might not be anything wrong with the guy, but he might not be the right guy for you. And you want to know, and you want to see through the Lord's eyes, like, whether or not that man is your husband or not.
Yeah, and I guess to piggyback off of that, there's going to be a lot of in this video. Are you in this relationship, or are you pursuing this relationship out of fear? For example, are you pursuing this relationship because you're not happy alone and you are willing just to kind of date anyone because you're unsure of your own self-worth, and so you'll just date people that way you don't feel lonely, which, by the way, people do. I'm not throwing shade. Like, I did it. Like, I would text 100 people back in the day because I felt lonely, and so
because you want to feel affirmed.
I'm not saying this to make anyone feel bad about themselves. I'm just being honest. That's what people do. People do that all the time, and so
coping mechanism.
And then secondly, are you pursuing or dating someone or with somebody because you don't think that you deserve any better? Because I know that a lot of us can carry fear into a relationship, saying like, oh, well, you know, if I don't stay with this person, then I won't end up with anybody, because maybe you've been with them for so long, or you're just afraid of other things. But
what is that thing that you told me the other day? When people stay with someone and they're only staying with them because they've been with them for so long.
It's the sunk cost fallacy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, will you explain? Because I feel like I've had to explain this to people in my circle, but I could never think of what it was called.
Yeah, if you guys have ever heard of the sunk cost fallacy, there's a description of it right here. But basically, it's just saying, oh, well, I'm going to stay in this job because I've been in it for so long and I want the benefits, or I'm going to retire in 20 years, you know what I mean? Or it's staying in a relationship that it clearly isn't healthy, but you've put in 5 good years, and that's just probably who you're going to end up with. And people will tend to stay in something because they feel like they've put so much work into it that it's too late to bail. It's too late to get out. And that's not a healthy way to walk in life.
Yeah, that's a good word, babe. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through a couple little like qualities, because this is something that I've talked about in previous videos, but all of my girlfriends, I've made them write out on paper a non-negotiables list, and then I make them sign it and I make them send it to me, because I think it's really important to not only be accountable to yourself, but have someone else that's holding you accountable. Because I do think that in the beginning stages of relationships, kind of like you were saying, I think fear plays a factor in both ways. Yeah. I think there can be fear in terms of, well, I'm just going to stay in it because maybe there's no one else, or I want to get married before a certain age, or you have like these different factors. Or it could be fear of heartbreak. And so you're leaving the right relationship because you don't want, you know, to press in and see if it's going to work, because it might take some work. And so you just want to make sure that any decision you're making in terms of a relationship, you're asking that question: am I making this decision based on fear, or am I making this decision based on faith? And then a quality that I really think is important in looking for your spouse is him prioritizing his personal relationship with the Lord. There's nothing more important than that, and there really is a difference, guys, between a good man and a godly man. And a godly man is one who is humble, and he knows how to humble himself under the Lord and receive grace so that he can give you grace. Because y'all, we are imperfect people, and you are going to fight with your spouse. Like, you're going to have disagreements. Trials are going to come. Hard seasons are going to come, and you're choosing the person that you're going to fight with. And you got to like the person that you're fighting with.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? I think another great characteristic or trait is this person, how do you say this, like correctable?
Teachable.
Like, are they teachable?
Yeah.
Are they willing to admit when they're wrong?
Yeah.
Are they willing to work on things? Because we were saying on that podcast that I just feel like we get so caught up and we're expecting this person to be like perfect. And if there's any issue, if there's any crack in the glass, then the window's broken.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like, people are messy. I'm messy. She's messy. Therefore, we are messy. So relationships will be messy, and that's okay. But are you willing to work on it? Do you have a heart posture to say, oh, I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I said that.
Yeah.
Let's work on it together. Or do you think that they're willing to try counseling? Yeah. That's a big thing, because there's such like a negative view on counseling. But it's just like, imagine going and seeing like a soccer coach or a football coach or a tennis coach or a dance coach or a tutor.
Yeah.
This is just like a mental health coach. They help you process things that you're going through. And so this is important. And speaking of counseling, so what brings you to counseling today, Chad?
Chef?
Chef?
Chef Chad.
I am confused.
Chef Chad. I'm a chef. People call me Chef Chad. Please call me Chef.
Yes, Chef.
Thanks.
So what brings you to counseling today, Chef?
My world is crumbling down. Everything's changing. Up is down, left is potato. And I feel like you can't teach an old dog to cook for 2 poodles and a schnauzer anymore.
I see. And what is making you feel this way?
2 words. Green Chef.
Do you care to elaborate on what Green Chef is?
Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that makes eating well easy and affordable with meal plans that fit any lifestyle.
You don't say. They fit every kind of lifestyle? What about keto?
Yes, every lifestyle.
Vegetarian?
Yes.
Paleo?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about vegan?
Do you want me to answer that?
I see. So, what is this issue that you seem to have with Green Chef?
They're killing my business.
How so?
First off, they're making more people like me.
People like you?
People like me, chefs. Chef Chad.
And what else seems to be bothering you?
They just make everything so easy. It's like you don't even have to try anymore. They meal plan for you. They prepare the exact ingredients and portion everything out. They give you step-by-step instructions with photos. With photos, might I add. You know what the worst part is? They deliver it to your front door.
Your door?
Yes, your front door.
I can see how Green Chef is impacting you. But let's figure out what is underneath the hut. Why are you really bothered?
I guess I just don't really like them.
Is it them that you don't like, Chef? Or is it who you are right now that you don't like? Let me say this in another way. People are afraid of what they don't understand. And because something is new and it scares them, they close themselves off and they shut away new opportunity. Did you ever think that for a moment that thousands and thousands of people would begin to love cooking because of Green Chef?
I guess I never really thought about it that way. Hey, why are you on your phone so much anyways?
Oh, don't mind me. Keep going.
I guess I'm afraid of people not needing me anymore. I'm afraid of becoming irrelevant and losing my special on my YouTube channel and ending up some daytime cook on TV.
And have you ever given Green Chef a chance? Chef?
I have, and it's perfect. And to make it worse, they work with these YouTubers that give ridiculous deals.
Oh, really? What type of deals?
I mean, you could go to greenchef.us/masters125 and use code masters125 to get $125 off plus free shipping on your first box.
Oh, I see. That is a ridiculous deal.
I know, right? How do they even do it?
Hey, Dr. Chad, you just got this box from Green Chef. Oh, okay, Chef Chad, thank you for coming. That's all the time we have for today. I look forward to seeing you next month.
That's so funny.
Well, I hope that you enjoy Laz. He is one of my favorite personalities.
Yeah, and so I do want to piggyback off of the whole teachable thing we were talking about earlier. You know, when you're getting in a disagreement, this is something to really look for when you're dating is, are they actually seeking to understand you? Are they seeking to understand? And are you seeking to understand? Because I think a lot of times when we're having conflict, we're only concerned with being understood, but we're not actually seeking to understand. And I think the level in which you truly pursue their heart is also going to open your eyes to see how they're pursuing you back. Does that make sense?
So if I'm understanding what you're saying, you're looking to make sure that I have an understanding and willingness to understand what you are saying.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Sorry if that was a little trippy.
We have to make sure that, like, I say this all the time and I feel like a broken record, but I truly mean it. Like, this person will tell you what they think about you by how they treat you. Are they interested in your life? Are they interested in your background and your family? Are they interested in supporting you? Or do they only want you for a few reasons? Because I'm seeing it now more than ever where society and marketing and all this stuff, they're really pushing only a few things to value inside of a relationship. So number one, look, you know, feel free to ask them, what do they value not only in you, but in a relationship? Because if their only compliments they're giving you is that you're so pretty or you're so handsome or, oh, you have such a good job or, oh, this, well, what happens if that were to ever change? Because that gets scary. Because if they're only valuing things like your looks or like your money or like your cool personality, then what happens if that changes? Now, are you devalued in their eyes? And so you can really tell a lot about someone by how they treat you and how they're engaging with you and what they want from you. But on the other hand of that, we have to make sure that we're not making this person into our image, but we're encouraging them to be made in God's image, okay? Just like what Tori was saying, that like, you know, I need to be a godly man for her and she needs to be a godly wife for me, but she's made in God's image, not in my image. And so I see it, and I'm not throwing shade at my friends. I'm really not. I'm smiling because I'm processing. But like, she's not my tennis buddy. She's not my football buddy. She's not my F1 buddy. Okay, she's not, and that's okay. She doesn't have to be obsessed with everything I'm obsessed with. She doesn't have to love everything that I love. She doesn't have to agree with everything I say.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like people get in one argument, and then you see where I was going with that?
100%.
Yeah, you hear that rhythm. You guys know what I'm talking about. And people just they lose interest. They're like, oh, well, this person isn't this to me. Well, like, no, you still have community. And something that Janina said on the podcast is, you know, with that person, date their community. So, and I know that sounds super weird, but what I mean by that is that, like, get to know their friends, get to know their community, and see how they interact with people in community, because you're going to be doing life with this person, Lord willing, in a communal setting where they have friends, and you go get dinners, you raise your kids together, you have a neighborhood, you have neighbors, and it's good to see how they are with people and what kind of people they surround themselves with. And it's not to be judgmental, it's just to make a good decision, right? Is this guy's friends just taking him out to go get plastered drunk every weekend? Or are they texting him things saying, oh, is the ball and chain holding you inside? Like, no, that's not a healthy set of friends for him to probably have if he's in a relationship, right? And so is he honoring you inside of his community, and he's honoring his community with you?
Yeah, and I do feel like, you know, we are who we hang out with. Like, it just is what it is. If you show me your 5 closest friends, it's going to tell me a lot about who you are. And so do look at his closest friends. And does he have mentors in his life? Because I think it was really, really cool when we started dating, when I knew that you had mentors in place and you had wise counsel. And if we were going through anything, I knew that you could call upon people who would not only, like, point you to Jesus, but were for our relationship. And so I do think that we really need to guard who we listen to. And so when you're looking for that spouse, making sure that he's surrounded with people who are encouraging him and giving him wise, sound advice, because we live in a generation of information overload. And so we do have to be really careful and make sure that we're, you know, taking in the right kind of content.
Yeah. Another great characteristic is this person willing to sacrifice for you? Yeah. Because I say it all the time, I feel like a broken record. Again, there's so many broken windows and records and everything in here. But it's like, it's so easy to love people when they're lovable. Oh my gosh. And people get all giddy like, oh, on Valentine's Day, he brought me flowers. That is the easiest day ever to give flowers. What about the other 364 days in the year? Did he love you then? True love is whenever someone sacrifices for one another, when they serve one another, right? You know, there is no greater love than to lay down your life for one another. And so I just feel in my heart that we need to desire to be with people who we want to sacrifice for, and they want to sacrifice for us. Did they go out of their way for me? Or am I just a convenience to them? Am I just access to them? Do they only text me whenever they're free? Or do they set aside intentional time to say, hey, I want to take you out and treat you and be intentional on a date? Or,
literally what I was like, are they intentional?
Yeah, are they being intentional? Because like I said, it's easy to be driving home and see fast food and stop and grab it. But it's much more difficult to call a restaurant, make a reservation, set the date, get dressed, go pick up the date, take, you know, it's much more difficult, but it's so much more romantic, and it's makes you feel special. And so is this person willing to sacrifice for you, or are they only loving you in convenient ways?
And something else in terms of character is, are they generous? Not only with money or monetary things, but like, are they generous with their time? Are they generous with their friends? Are they the kind of friend that's going to show up on move day? You know?
Will you explain that? Because it's something that's so underrated. Explain that for the people.
We joke that like you find out who your friends are when you're moving, and truly like we had the best friends in LA, because I feel like it was like a move party for a couple
We probably
weeks.
had 15 to 20 different friends.
Come over and help us like box things up and load things into the car.
It was incredible.
Look at his life, look at his friendships.
Or hers.
And are they generous, or are they selfish? You know, because being inside of a relationship with someone who's selfish is gonna really be hard in the long run.
I mean, even, you know, Tori and I got into a disagreement earlier today, and I had an opportunity to say, oh, I want her to be upset the rest of the day because I'm mad, so I want her to be mad too. Or I have a chance to snap myself out of it, shake myself out of it, and say, oh, I'm going to try to help us both feel better today. And it would have been extremely convenient for me to just take the easy route and just be frustrated all day and hold a grudge. Or I can take the hard route and say, hey, I'm going to put away my pride. Yeah. I'm going to make sure that you and I are in a good place. And it's like, that's important because in relationships, you're going to have conflict, and conflict isn't a bad thing. Yeah. I'll say it again for the people in the back of the classroom. Conflict is not a bad thing. If you're afraid of conflict, that's okay, but it doesn't mean you're in a bad relationship. Yeah. How you handle conflict will dictate whether it's a good or bad thing.
Yeah, and that really takes me to like, is he willing to lead you? I mean, that's for my ladies out there, but Chad showed me very early on that he had the capability of being a leader. Now, when we were dating, was he leading me spiritually? No, but I knew by his actions that if we were to get married, he would know how to lead our future family. Yeah. And so you'll know. You'll know. Yeah.
And on the same vein of leading, you can also look at it as honoring. For example, imagine you're in a long distance relationship. Our subscriber of the week, Allison, she's in a long distance engagement. Yeah. And so, you know, if you were to travel for the person you're dating, are they willing to put themselves up in a hotel? Yeah. Are they willing to invest the money to fly to go see you? Yeah. Those are things where it's like, wow, they're going to honor me by spending their hard-earned money to make sure that they're helping our relationship flourish. And I think that's so special because it says so much.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Do you have any red flags? Yes. Some red flags. Do they have a bunch of pictures of their exes on their social media? Red flag.
Okay, another red flag. If he makes you feel crazy for like wanting to communicate about things, you know, because I feel like communication is key and you want to feel like you can freely communicate.
Does this person make you feel like you have to work to earn them? Because I think that would be a red flag, and I've been in relationships where I feel like I have to get into the rat race to earn someone's love and affection. Yeah. And at the time, you're almost interested in it because it's like they're playing hard to get. But there's one thing in life that you don't want to be hard, and that's your marriage. Yeah. You know, you want that to be made easy. You want someone to be open and honest and transparent and helpful to you, not to say, oh, if you don't do this, then I won't do X, Y, Z. Playing hard to get, it sounds cool in retrospect because it plays mind games with people. Like when I say it sounds cool, it's like it plays games with people's minds and it makes them desire it. But, or is this person unconditionally, freely loving you without your ability to pursue them?
Do they respect your boundaries?
We have a whole series on that.
Yeah, maybe you should click up here and watch our boundary series. But I feel like that's a question I get a ton from a lot of people. Like, when do I have the boundaries talk? What if they don't respond well to the boundaries talk? And I feel like it would be a huge red flag if you laid out your boundaries and why they're there, and then they were like not a fan or really fought you on them. That would be a red flag.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it's really important that they hear you out on them, because we said this in another video, there's a difference between being right and being loving. There's times where we'll have a disagreement and I want to be right. And it's actually more important that I'm loving in that situation, because what she doesn't need me to do is prove that I'm right. What she needs in that moment is for me to love her, which is either a hug or an apology or just listening. And so are they willing to put aside their pride and not just spit facts from the fax machine and use rationale? Because guess what? We are emotional people. Yeah. And people feel what they feel. That doesn't mean that your feelings trump everything else, because they don't. But it's important to acknowledge them with people. And are they willing to say, oh, I'm sorry about that. Like, how could I be helpful right now, instead of just forcing my own rightness on you?
Yeah. And honestly, y'all, this whole video, like, people aren't gonna be perfect. Nope. Like, Chad and I are so far from perfect. This is truly more of a peer-to-peer conversation than like, we have it all figured out and we're the perfect couple and we have all of these characteristics all of the time and it all works out great every single day. Like, that's not the case. It's more of, okay, if I'm sitting down on the couch with you and you are trying to figure out if this is the person for you to spend the rest of your life with, these are the things we would say to you. You know what I mean?
I think, just wrapping up, what would you say is our greatest strength in our relationship, aside from the Jesus card? I have one.
What?
Do you want to say it at the same time? That way, in case it's the same thing?
I haven't got it yet.
Oh, never mind. Oh, wait.
I don't know which way I'm going with this, because now I want to answer the same way as you.
It's okay if you don't, because I would actually prefer it if you didn't. You ready to answer it in the count of 3?
These things make me so nervous. Remember when we played that
We're not supposed to say the same thing. I just want to hear your answer, but I don't want to say mine and you say, oh yeah, that was mine too. I'd rather hear it to see if it's the same. 1, 2, 3, our willingness to work on things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say a lot of people want chemistry to be the greatest asset. They want their their compatibility to be what they have in common.
Yeah.
But honestly, the thing that helps our relationship thrive is our willingness to reconcile and work on things.
Yeah.
That's like the secret in the butter. Of course, it's not the Jesus card.
Yeah.
But the secret in the butter.
Secret in the butter? Salted butter? Salt?
Salt of the earth. Anyways.
We digress.
I hope that is encouraging a little bit to know that it's not just like people get so obsessed with physical attraction. And yes, my wife is smoking hot and I'm super blessed by that. But like there's so much more, right? Is this person desiring more than just your body? Or do they want to get to know your heart before your body?
Yeah.
That's really important. And so that would be a red flag is, are they only interested in your body? Do they only want to be with you for one reason?
Yeah. And we've shared this quote before. It's by our friend Jake Scott. He told Chad this before we got married. He was like, no, before we got engaged. He was like, look, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Marriage is like 90% hanging out and 10% sex. You gotta like who you're hanging out with.
Yeah.
You know? And so making sure that this person is your best friend. Like, they're the person you want to call when things go wrong or when things go right. Who do you want to celebrate with?
Yep.
Who do you want to fight with? You know, like, they need to be your person, your go-to, you know? Yeah. Okay, you guys, I think that is it for this video. We hope that it encouraged you. Make sure to comment below your thoughts because we love hearing from you guys. And once again, huge thank you to Green Chef for sponsoring this video. It's the biggest deal they've ever given us. $125 off plus free shipping is just crazy. So make sure you guys check that out. And also, if you want to check out our Boundaries series, click here. And if you want to check out our The Truth About Sex series.
Why you gotta put it on me?
Right here.
Right here.
Gotta go. Love you. Bye.